What is on top of the deck? What is on top of the deck?
Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Welcome to Hunt the Week.
Oh, hello, and welcome. I didn't see you there. Please, pull up a seat here in my little wizard home in the Shire. It looks like a hobbit hole because, well, it is. Let me tell you a story. You look like an adventurer. In fact, you look like someone I used to know a long time ago. We were a traveling party of 7. Yes, me, the cook, 5 others, who mostly dwarves, and 1 new to the Discord hobbit. And we set out on a grand journey. Hello, everyone, and welcome into the show. Welcome on in to Hunt the Week, HobX kickoff. Week 0. Getting ready. Hello. How are you doing? Are you ready? Are you ready for some new things? New league, new set? Who dis? Are you ready for all that? I am. I hope you are. This is Hunt the Week, your weekly Magic the Gathering podcast about the Arena Gauntlet League that we know, love, and play in. As I record, it's 5:40 p.m. on Thursday, which means I am watching round 1 right now. Jacob P. Pie Demon versus a Johnny Goldmane, and that's Jackass. Happening right now. Jacob has a Super Scroll. That seems great, but he's taken 7 from an ambush Gigapede. Does not seem great at the same time. Hello, everyone. We're kicking off Hobbit. We're watching the Mega Draft as we record. It's an exciting day. Pools were rolled late last night. I barely looked at mine. The set just came out 2 days ago. It's about the Hobbit. It's not Lord of the Rings. It's still Tolkien. We're going to talk about it. So please, let's begin. Who am I? I'm your host with the most. Your Don John DeMarco, your Goku or Go Home. The Pride of Mardu. The cook in the kitchen. Cooking up the dishes. All right? What are you hungry for? Chicken wing? Mashed potato? I'll heat up a bagel for you. You want me to heat up a bagel or some lembas bread? Hunt the Week in the Arena Gauntlet League. We know, love, and playing. 8-time top 8er. 2-time league winner. 1 time was a cook. Had to learn how to make my own Discord. Currently trying to make my own server. Not something I'm great at. But I did make a Hobbit roll for the Hobbit, and I think it's funny. I originally had my company called There and Zach Again, and then I was going to make a big joke about, we didn't get a Zach, but we can't change it now. But then I just changed it before they did. And we haven't picked a name yet. We'll pick a name together. We're still grouping up. It's still early. It's Thursday. We haven't even been a company for a full 24 hours. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. So please, let's offer some food.
Narthwy noer, tolthwy filfor, oianam van a nethail vin.
What is he saying? Does he offer us insult?
No, Master Cloyd, he's offering you food.
Well, in that case, lead on.
That's right. As I record. Currently 5:42 on Thursday. So we had our first Mega Draft for the hero side, which was won by Lucas M. Finley 2K1. He's been on the podcast a bunch. If you want to listen to his shows, he's been on a couple times. He might be coming on again if he can win the whole league and win his next match. And it's funny because he was a villain, but scheduling's tough. So he moved to the hero pod to make scheduling work. He was the only villain in it, and he won. So a villain won the hero pod. There is, I think, 1 hero in the villain pod. And that's happening right now. Like I said, it's going on right now. The draft just happened. I missed the draft. I'm recording. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to watch the show. It looks good. We'll see how it happens. We'll see who wins this Mega Draft, and then whoever wins the winner of both of them will hopefully get to come on the show and talk about it. It'll be a good time. And Hobbit is just starting, so there are no standings, right? I can't say who's in first, who's in last. We're all even. We're all great. Here's the rules. We are all split up into groups of 7 people, 6 established players. It's like 1 or 2 like high-rated or good players, I think. I don't really know how it's divided. And then other players, and then 1 new player. That's all I really know. I'm a cook, so I did offer. I was actually asked because I think they needed more people to do some cooking. So I built a little server, gave it a little name. Again, the set just came out. I've played a few drafts. It seems to me aggressive. It seems like an aggressive set. It seems like a get stuff on the board, turn it sideways set. It's hard to get a guy down to block set. But it's still early, and this can all change. Black-red still seems super strong, just like last time in Lord of the Rings. I keep drafting blue-green. It keeps not happening. I keep losing to black-red. So I think black-red's where you want to be. But again, I've only played a few drafts, so I don't know. I do think everything seems all right if you're in the right pair and you kind of make stuff work. And for League especially, like it's going to be harder for these aggressive decks, but this isn't just Hobbit, right? They've built a whole extra bonus set, a bonus rest of the set to kind of fill it out and kind of make sure that it all works. And I'm excited to play with a lot of those cards because I don't really know what a lot of them are. I wasn't, paying a ton of attention to all the ins and outs and beta tests and deck building of all that stuff. Just haven't been around to do it. But it's Hobbit with some bonus cards, with some extras. Should be pretty fun. Every time the third member of your group gets their first win, you guys get a little bonus, some cards from a Scryfall search. Everyone gets one. That's going to be fun to do. If you get a really good one, I'm sure it'll be really fun to celebrate, and maybe it'll be fun to commiserate about the bad ones too. But the set's just getting started. Like we're posting decks, we're deck building, we're talking, we're chatting, we're getting to know each other. It's early, it's exciting. It's only a 3-weeker, so get ready. If you need deck building help, if you need advice, that's what your company's for. Talk to your cook. Get that stew going. Get that stew going. Throw a bone in some water. A little onion, a little celery. Remember I had that guest on and they told me how to make the perfect chicken stock? Go back and listen to that. That was a good one. And Evan is now on the LC. He does come on the show later to talk about it. But the LC's been kind of bothering me on the show a little bit, and they said that I had to start running some ads for them, especially me and Evan have a very nice relationship. So Evan came to me and was like, hey, the LC needs you to do this if you're going to keep talking about the Discord. And that's one big thing about the show is I'm not beholden to the LC, right? Like, I'm not on the LC. I'm not a rules guy. I'm just a guy who does a show. Like, they don't tell me what to play, and I don't run anything I do by them. But it is nice to have kind of a relationship like this. But they do want me to run this ad as they've been, like, trying out more different things on Reddit and stuff to get people in the Discord. So here's an ad from the LC.
All the little hobbits, 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 there and back again. Up in the Shire, Bilbo for hire, joining the adventuring dwarves. Gandalf don't slip, going on a trip to the kingdom of Erebor. Gonna help Thorin, we're sneaking in. Gollum's riddles need attention. Gonna answer him right, we're getting to a fight, but I found a shiny thing. I'm escaping because I put a ring on it. Can't see me now because I put a ring on it. Don't be mad when I get away from Gollum with it. If it was precious, then you should have kept an eye on it. Oh, it's Bilbo, not Frodo, not Frodo. Where'd he go? It's Bilbo, oh, I don't know. Going to the lonely mountain with a ring on it. Smog is gonna go crazy when I steal from it. Spiders and goblins don't mean nothing. Bilbo don't know the power of it. 7 in a company, 6 dwarfs and me. Get a prize when you win 3 games. There's no dwarf toss, but till your 6 lost. It's a small league, it lasts 3 weeks. They increased the set for hype, added more archetypes. Won't matter when I make top 8. You can win as a small team, living the dream, the battles of the 5 armies. Gonna top it because I put a ring on it. Open up some bombs because I put a ring on it. Eating lemon spread and food when I can crack it. Winning the league because I put a ring on it. Uh-oh, let's go back to the show. I don't know where's Bilbo. I don't know where'd he go. It's not Frodo, it's Bilbo.
Really cool ad. Thanks again for telling me I have to run that. Adam, Jordan, Steve, other Steve, Evan, Jack, Jordan. I'm really sorry if I'm missing everyone. I think that's it. Chris York, of course, was the main one behind it. And again, thank you guys for everything that you do. And of course, we've got a little segment from Buster. So this is from Buster. Buster's family tree this week is about Evan C., piece of crab, the guest on the show. Evan is a feral AGLer, but has mentored 5 people. These include Philip J. Phil Jack, Grant W. Awesome Grant, and Asher L. Chromicality. Oh, that doesn't sound right. However, none of these AGLers have ever gone on to be a mentor themselves, so Evan is yet to be a grand mentor. As the newest member of the LC, I thought it would be worth comparing this family tree to other LCers. The results were shocking. As regular listeners will know, our outgoing and wonderful LCer Jack has a vast lineage of mentors. He's mentored 19 people. Jesus, Jack. And I have yet to been able to learn to count to the numbers high enough to tally the numbers of times that Jack is a grand mentor. This is where the rainbows and lollipops end. Stephen H. has 4 mentees and 0 grand mentees. Chris York has 3 mentees, no grand mentees. Adam has only mentored twice. And there his line ends. Steve T. and Jordan M., for all their contributions that we know and love, have no mentors, no records of mentorship. I will, to much of the LC, with all due respect, in the words of a ride sage, you got to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. And yes, I will accept any punishments that accompany being a speaker of truth to power. So Buster is, of course, calling out the LC for not mentoring enough. Not being community-focused enough. So, but there you go, LC. Buster's calling you out. Not Goku. Not me. Don't come at me. It might be my show. I might give him a voice and publish it to the masses. But hey, don't come at me. Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, everybody. And Buster says, you guys got to do more. My opinion is they're probably just too busy doing all the other stuff to make the league work. I'm sure they would if they weren't busy putting way more time in other things. That's my opinion, Buster. And of course, we've got a great guest this week. So please, won't you join me for an adventure?
I'm looking for someone to share in an adventure.
Now, I don't imagine anyone west of Bree would have much interest in adventures. Nasty, disturbing, uncomfortable things. Make you late for dinner.
That's right. This week we are joined with none other than Evan C. Peas of Crab. What can I say about Evan? Oh my God. Dude's been in the league forever. Longer than me. He used to work at the partner store that we used to run the league through, that they had a big falling out with, and that was weird. Evan has won a ton of leagues, been in a ton of top 8s. Great player, one of the best, right? Real funny guy, great sense of humor, good head on his shoulders. Great community member, big part of the community, fights for things. Always pushing for leagues to designs to change or be different, like helping people with their deck builds. Evan helps me with deck builds all the time. Like, Evan's awesome. I can't say enough about Evan. Shadow LC member, now official LC member. And he's already been doing tons of work. I've been seeing him in the server the last 2 weeks. I guess really the last week. Getting the set together, the HobX, all the extra cards, getting it all together, working hard. Had a great talk with him. Got him on the show. Wanted to talk to him about his new role in the Discord, about what's to come, what's going on, and to get excited for Hobbit. So please join me and listen to my interview with Evan now. Hello, and that's right. This week we are joined for an adventure with Evan C. Peas of Crab. Welcome to the show, Evan.
Thanks, John. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. Ready to go on an adventure? Maybe?
Yes, ready to definitely go into exile, but then come back.
Okay, I have not looked at really any spoilers for Hobbit. Is adventure a mechanic?
It is a mechanic, but it shows up just kind of like sporadic card designs.
Okay.
It's definitely not an inherent, like it's not really tied into the actual mechanics of the set, but it's just a good, it's kind of like kicker or flashback. They'll throw. In fact, flashback is also in this set, right? But
Oof.
it's like one of those deciduous designs that they don't need to tie it in. It's just it just works.
Yeah. I mean, I think you gotta have some adventure cards in a Hobbit set. Even if it's not a main theme, it's easy to throw a couple of them in there. They're gonna make sense. The flavor's gonna work, you know?
Yeah, Bilbo's Grand Adventure.
He is going there and back again, and he's doing it with Evan C. Piece of Crab, newest member of the league committee. Congratulations, Evan.
Thank you, thank you.
Uh, I want to start there. I want to talk about what made you want to join the league committee, and I want to kind of dive in from there about what it's like to be on it so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's been something that I have been more and less interested in from time to time. We'll definitely get into that later, I think, because I think the last question was kind of like about like why is this the time for you to join
Yes.
the LC? But
Why now?
yeah, I mean, as for the general question of what made me want to join the LC, just I like league designs. I thought I could help the league by being on the league committee. Uh, I enjoyed what I did for the playground league, and yeah, I mean, just it. I also should take this time to say, thank you to everybody who's currently on the LC. Everybody else who's currently on the LC, and all of the former LC members for all of the really hard work that they've done. Administrating, planning for, adjudicating, all the tech, all that. I mean, like, now that I'm behind the curtain, it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's a good amount of work to try to haggle over all these details. Sometimes not everything is exactly as everybody in the community or everybody even on the committee wants, but it's just uh, a lot of volunteering and a lot of service. So, I do thank all of the other LC current and past.
Yeah, we thank you and we thank them for their service as well for the AGL. It's a thankless job being on the LC. You take a lot of flack from a lot of people about a lot of things. Um, but we appreciate you. We really do. So you're like you said, you did the Shadow LC and Playground, which was you kind of like, designing a league with some people who weren't on the LC.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed to be a nice stepping stone to get you into the actual, the non-Shadow. I don't know. There's got to be a story arc where the Shadow became real, or you're like Pinocchio, the wooden boy that became real, became an LC member.
Yeah, I mean, not that I know that much about it, but I have a friend who is like big Kingdom Hearts fan. So like maybe I'm like a nobody. Like maybe I'm the story of Sora or something, or not Sora, Roxas.
There you go. Right. If anybody out there can tell me what goes on in the Kingdom Hearts storyline, please, we'll talk about Roxas and becoming a nobody. And I know very little. I've played 3 of the games, not the 15 cell phone games or whatever. But Evan, how's it been on the LC so far? You're behind the curtain, right? Are you seeing things that are like, oh, of course it makes sense. This is how that's run. Are things surprising you? Are you just kind of stepping right in? It feels good, or are you like, there's so many things going on. What do I do? Like, what's it like?
Um, well, I would say that I would probably like, unfortunately, at the time of the this recording, it's maybe not the best time to ask because kind of just jumped right in. It's a lot about the implementation, so I'm kind of trying to be a good lieutenant on specifically the design of the Hob Cube. Um,
Yeah, I see you championing that in the all the chats right now.
yeah. So as for like the overall process and structure, I think that remains to be seen because Hobbit was there were large portions of it that were already set in stone. So for that, it's just like, okay, what can I do here to help dot all the I's and cross all the T's.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think it is definitely different than the playground experience because there's, just a lot more experience. They've got kind of a routine of like, okay, here's the cadences of what like certain deadlines we want to hit. And we just have like certain ways of going about things that we kind of had to do from scratch on the Shadow League committee. Um, things surprising, not not really. I yeah, uh, nothing too surprising.
Here's a gotcha. Let's see if I can get you.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like the rule set for Hobbit dropped pretty late compared
Yes.
to most league rule sets. Was there a reason for this? Do you have the inside scoop? Did something not work? Were you trying to work something out, or can you not tell me, Evan?
Um, I don't really know. Yeah. All I know is that you know, there were certain things that still needed to be discussed and uh, defined as I was coming in.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, I think there it was a little bit later than usual. Perhaps that has something to do with me coming in and being
It's
a
your
little bit of
fault,
a
Evan.
speed bump. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, not really sure.
Well, we're here and we're happy to have you joining the LC, ready to make your mark on leagues and to see, what Evan brings to the table as we say goodbye to Jack or Jark, as he is so belovedly known these days. Um, you'll be stepping up immediately and taking Jack's seat as he steps down. What changes are you hoping to make to leagues? And how will we know that Evan has made his mark?
Yeah, so one of these changes is probably more like a reversion. Um, I'm kind of interested in a little sense of nostalgia or just going backwards a bit. So kind
Okay.
of some more boring designs, something more like classic leagues. I do think that sometimes less can be more, or at the very least, like doing something simpler can kind of increase the hunger for
Sure.
something more complex later on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that I'm not sure that maybe my mark will ever be known, but the most likely indicator would be that you see something that is a classic sleep design. And I say like, uh, you know, sometimes something like, you know, compared to the announcements and media that Adam puts out, compared to Jack being kind of omnipresent and running a lot of these events, including feature matches and mega drafts,
Hmm.
and then both Steve and Steven doing a lot of really crucial and really sweet tech work. I think Jordan, his role is sometimes a little bit, it's critical, but it's not as visible to the community. And I
Oh, for
think
sure.
I'm probably going to be somewhat more like that. So, my mark might not ever be that visible. But other things that I am interested is maybe uh, so like things that I value, and hopefully I can bring those values towards things that the committee implements. Are things like maybe more transparency during the design process or community involvement. I
Hmm.
know that we're doing the guest designers, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
think uh, stuff along. those lines is something I'm definitely interested in. And then also just a better understanding maybe of like what makes leagues tick and what the community is valuing. Akin to Lotta's surveys, I
Hmm.
think are pretty important because I think there's some things, and I'll be the first to admit, I have my own quirks and preferences. There's a number of times where I feel a certain way, and the community heavily disagrees. And some things I'll stick with my own preferences, and others I'll be like, if I put my designer cap on, I'm like, okay, I have to kind of let go and really acknowledge that a lot of people are saying they really want community engagement, for example.
Yeah.
Um, but I also think to a certain extent, maybe some of that is also true of other things that the LC prioritizes. So, like to better serve the community and better understand the community, I think is some things that I value.
I love that. Let's have Evan be a man of the people. Mamdani from the LC's political climate coming down and giving us what we need, making our taxes go to work, huh, Evan?
We're gonna lower the deficit. We're gonna have rent control, blah blah blah. I don't actually know what Mamdani's been doing, but I understand that he's been you know, both loved and hated, but a very maybe I will strive to be a little less controversial or a little less you know, uh such a splash on the scene, we'll say, as a word Mamdani.
I like where you're coming from, and I like a lot of your attitude towards this. I love the community aspect. I think community is what makes this league great, right? Like the community is what we all come back for.
Yeah.
Um, and I'll say Hobbit already feels a little bit kind of like Set League, how it's kind of this built upon set. But you guys are really hearing people talk about different cards, getting into debates and discussion as to like why certain things won't work and why certain things should change. And it's been really cool to watch that process like unfold over the last, few days to see cards come in, cards come out, people recommending things, um, it's awesome. I don't know. It's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna be quite curious to see what goes on tomorrow. Might spend a like go for a couple playtest matches myself, see what I can get up to.
Yeah, and why not? I mean, that's the best way to do it. Like even in set league, before we did it, we did a few drafts and seals, and things changed, and you got to see a nice test experiment, before you go. It helps a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool of your idea to kind of go old school on leagues. I agree with you. I think I love the league design now. I think league design now is great, but I think that variety is the spice of life, right? Like I don't necessarily want a vanilla league, but I wouldn't hate a vanilla league every now and then. And I was gonna say I wouldn't hate chaos. No, I love chaos. I want chaos. I want chaos all the time. Give me more chaos leagues. But again, what I've been thinking about recently, actually, and I don't think this is possible. I don't know. That's the thing is, it's a thought, Evan. It's a thought. We bring those up and we talk about them. And I would be just redoing leagues again. Either leagues that like didn't work for whatever reason, say EOE, give yourself a second shot at doing the map again and doing it right, which I think we've pitched doing Woe League again, do Woe League without mom cards or something, to a similar extent. Or even things like Duskmourn, a league that whenever I ask people their favorite league, I hear that 80% of the time people say Duskmourn.
Hmm?
And I think about all the people that have come in since Duskmorn who just hear about how cool it was, or MKM, or whatever big league you have in your head that you think is great. And I think about how people don't get to experience those, but just get to hear us talk about how great they are. And what a bummer that must be. Just to hear me like, oh yeah, that was great, that was so cool. But then it's like, well, when are we ever going to do Duskmorn again? They're never going back to Duskmorn. It wasn't a great set. People didn't love it. They're never going to go back. But it was a cool idea, and I don't know. People still talk about it. I don't know, Evan. That's my. I'm not even saying run them back. It's just a thought I had. No bad ideas in brainstorming.
Yeah. No, sorry. I was just
Don't come at me, Evan. Don't come at me.
as you were talking, I just was thinking about all the different great league experiences that we've had.
right?
what's gone into them. Yeah.
Like over the years, and like people like Buster, or even the Knicks, who like maybe haven't experienced some of the things because we did it 3 years ago and everyone loved it, but leagues have changed over time, and we look back so much, but we don't look back real hard and like
Hmm.
do it again.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's just a thought I've been having, Evan.
Well, I will say to that, there are a number of, so maybe we might not be able to do like full week leagues, but there are a number of 3 week leagues. One of them is going to be slated, I believe, for Latin Johnny's
Oh
AGL
yeah,
Mystery Booster, which
yeah.
personally, I mean, you said you like Chaos. I'm just about as big of a fan, so I'm very hyped for
Oh,
that.
I can't
But
wait.
yeah, I think there might be some opportunities to visit either 3 week leagues back or like and one another one of these leagues in a limited capacity more so. Or, if that's where we want to really highlight the guest designers, then that could be a spot for it as well. But I will say, that's well heard, and I think there are definitely going to be opportunities coming up for that.
Yeah, and I'd be curious if there were people who wanted to go back and play stuff that like because it sounded cool, or if people just like what we're doing now and just want to try new weird stuff. Like that's fine too. Um, Evan, I am excited to ask you this because you've been around a while, longer than me. You've seen your fair share of leagues, you've played in them, you've won them. I want to know your hot take, thing that you hate that people love, thing that you love that people hate. What is it?
Um, I think I'm definitely more of a lover than a hater. So it's going to be something I love, people hate. And specifically, that has been getting a lot of extra high demony attention, we'll say, uh, which relates to kind of like hunting the weak slash. I think that so my hot take is that I think actually metagaming slash like scumming or sharking is actually perfectly fine and is almost essential to the nature of the league in a way.
Yeah.
Um, this is a hot take because a lot of people, are more on the new player experience kind of vibe. I don't really engage in this stuff anymore, which is a question that comes up later on.
Hmm.
But I think that when I say it's essential to the nature of the league, like it feels like that is something that has been present for all my experience in the league and likely was even before. Like just to in a way it's weird, but it's like if you know each other to a certain extent that you can like hunt one another either based on skill, based on matchup or whatever, like that means you're paying attention
Yeah.
to them in a way. Like you're getting involved. And, there's interesting narratives of like, you've always hunted me, but now I've gotten a lot better, and now, I'm evening the scales, like before you were like picking on me, and now I'm I'm showing you what for.
And now I'm picking
But
on you. Ha ha ha.
yeah, but like and the other is like it's kind of very free. Like League, I think, is not even just about skill expression, but it's even just about like player expression. Like, what do you value? Like, how do you want to approach the game? What are the tools and methods at your disposal? Some people really focus on sideboarding. Like, so for me, metagaming, and Adam said this before, and I think we're some of the very few that believe this, and possibly because we're the most, other than Cody, we're the most heinous villains of this aspect in the history of the league. But like metagaming is to a certain extent part of the game, and I think it's perfectly fine in that I would even say for anybody who's really trying to make their first finals and they know that, in a fair fight up against somebody like Jordan, up against somebody like Sawyer, up against somebody like a dude with good or Matthew H almost. Like sometimes to get there, it requires pulling every trick out of the book. And I would And I'm happy for them if they're pulling out every trick of the book and they make the finals. And maybe it wasn't all in the game of Magic, but this isn't just Magic. This is League. And sometimes League is about you know, playing the field. Anyways, that's my hot take.
I think it does go back to just to Magic, where it's like spikes are gonna spike, and that's outside of League. People are always gonna try and find every percentage point they can to do better.
Yeah.
Because that's the game. That's the game. Every half percent matters when we're talking about such little room for error and such hard to make topic.
Yeah.
Um, but I like it. I like where you're coming from. I like the attitude of doing everything I can. And again, it's not against the rules, so it's definitely fair to do. And does it pay off? Does it show results? Sometimes I think it does.
And the other thing is it's also it's a strategy and it's a risk, right?
Yes.
I mean, I, I'm not trying to rag on him, but there are a number of times where he's been very close and on the bubble
Yeah.
because due to opponent match win percentage, right? So it sometimes it's the difference between him making it and not making it in the positive sense. And then sometimes it's in the negative sense. Like it can very much be a double-edged blade. So I think that adds to its legitimacy, I guess, that there is a risk to it. Like the system has accounted for, okay, you're, maybe getting some easier opposition, but if you don't win those games towards the end, at that really are versus some of the craziest pools and the craziest players in Week 6, then you're winning. Like there are gonna maybe have to be more winning it than you would otherwise need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Now that we got you and Adam on the LC, can we see a super Sharky League, whatever that means? I don't know, but talk to Cody, figure it out. Sounds great. Your next question. So this is great. So we have a bunch of league questions. Technically, this is the start of your league questions, because Jacob sent me a question. Outside of normally, when people come on the show, people come on the podcast. I send them all the questions beforehand. You've seen all the questions as people respond in the chat. It's all very public facing. It's so you can have time to prep and everything, but not for this one. This is a second gotcha today, Evan. I'm getting you, and you're getting got.
I'm getting it.
Well, Jacob's getting you, actually. You're getting Pie Demon. Jacob C. has this question for you. Throughout your AGL career, you have over 800 matches played with an impressive lifetime win rate over 60%. During this time, you have faced down nearly all of the top players and secured victories. However, there are two established players, both of whom participated in Marvel Superheroes, that you have never defeated despite facing them at least 4 times each. Can you name either of those players?
Can I just look up the arena gauntlet head-to-head?
No, you can't. No, you can't just pull it up. You gotta. These two people, you've never beaten them, and their names that you'll recognize. But no, you can't pull up the stats. You gotta guess or no.
Hmm. Let's see. Can I at least look up who's in Marvel Superheroes? Because I don't.
Yeah. That's fair. That's totally fair. Because Evan is not.
I didn't play in that one.
Yeah, Evan is not in Marvel Superheroes. Are you going to be playing in the leagues again now that you're on the LC? You playing in the next one in Hobbit?
So that's a funny question. I'm actually actively debating it myself because I'm thinking about modern prep and does 5 matches. I could probably swing it. I don't know. I'm still debating it. We'll see how the playtest goes tomorrow. Let's see. Established players.
Established players that you've played at least 4 or one of them 5 times.
Surely there's a name that. Okay. I'm not sure, but is Jack H one of them?
Jack H is not one of them.
Darn.
There are two people. The answer is Lucas M. Finley 2K1. You are 0 and 5 against Lucas M, who just won the Mega Draft.
I know, I heard. That's awesome.
Congrats. Yeah, big congrats to Lucas. Dude's amazing. Dude's so good at Magic. And the other is Paul G, the Dragon. You're 0 and 4 against Paul G. Paul G, also someone that I do terrible against. I'm like 2 and 6 against Paul or something. Paul's he doesn't get the accolades as a Lucas M, but Paul is a scary, scary player.
And he is a dragon.
You know what? Through and through. Well, we've made it to your league questions. Evan, are you ready?
Yes.
Buster S. Huster would love to know who in AGL taught you the most, either about League, MTG, or life in general.
Yeah, so this is a bit of a cop-out answer because I'm going to name two people, but
That's fair.
I find that they're hard to separate, both in terms of this question as well as in terms of their presence in AGL. In fact, as I look at our Discord, I can see that they're in a voice channel together. And that would be Jonathan P, who is also my mentee, but sometimes the student can become the master.
Yes.
And the other one would be Adrian C. And a lot of it has to do actually with just stuff that's been going on this year, I think. I've learned a lot more about Cube. Jonathan's taken the time to really help run through things in Cube, make explanations of certain combos, certain ways to think about turns or archetypes or whatnot. And I think actually moving towards constructed has been a combination of like League plays already 60 cards. Cube introduces you to certain combos that come up a lot in constructed. Winston has not Winston. Mirrored Sealed has a lot of that, like Duplicate Sealed rather.
Yeah.
Has a lot of that feeling of like, okay, we both have access to the same thing. One is like an entire multi-hundred card pool, and the other is just like a sealed pool. But it's like, all right, we both know what's up, more or less, but how do I, zig when you zag, or zag when you zig, or, maybe just we both know what the best deck is, but maybe I know the matchup, the nuances a little bit more than you do. So yeah, Jonathan has helped me a lot for Cube, and then Adrian has helped me a lot for Constructed and resources and just different ways of understanding decks. And so I think that both of them have helped a lot as I've tried to kind of expand my horizons from just being just the limited sealed and draft grinder that I was. Now there's more constructed play, more powered cube play, more MTGO, yada yada.
He's making the move, ladies and gentlemen, to some bigger and better formats.
Not better,
but bigger.
Yeah.
Nothing will ever beat limited, though. Oh, it's just so sweet. So sweet. Tim A. Flavatog, since you've been around a while, what has been your favorite league and why?
Yeah. The funny thing is this was actually a question on the guest designer application for, this was before I later joined the league committee.
Yeah.
But this was on the guest designer. I wrote that for me, my favorite, shout out Ryan D, shout out to Slickness, is Lost Caverns of Ixalan.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like the classic tournament design. I'm an advocate for it, and I've been saying, if you see that something like a classic tournament design, it'll mean I've made my mark. But I think that the LCI design kind of paved the way for our modern design, and I think it did it really well.
Yeah.
Pushed the envelope, helped answer the problematic set like Mom. It was really push and play once you chose your path. And then I also like that it supported a lot of different player values and preferences at the same time, which is another thing that I think is important, either to all like happen in one design or just like, as we said, the rotation of different sets of design, to kind of touch on like, okay, maybe somebody like Johnny is super into flavor, right?
Yeah.
So some or like super into like more so even than classic print design, but actually just monoset design. Like maybe that's something that we should touch upon, for our players that are very much like Johnny. Um, but yeah, so I really liked LCI and just the way it worked out. I thought it was really elegant. The only downside I think was like you had to like consider all those options at the very start. And I do think that sometimes front loading of options has been an issue in some of the designs, in the past couple years. But I think there's also been a lot of strides to simplify that, like kind of like BOB, Bloomborough rather. Bloomborough definitely was a really good evolution of that point of feedback on LCI in that uh, the randomness kind of was more like roguelike, so there wasn't as much analysis paralysis, right? You just had a decision in front of you, and then it's like, what's best for my game? As opposed to, oh God, what's going to be best for my game when I'm in week 4 and I'm on loss 8, Yeah,
It's
that's about it.
it's the LCI design for people that haven't seen it, go back and look at it. It'll look very familiar. Um, because it was like the original design of leagues that gave us paths to follow, options, things to choose. Um, it's great. I'm Ryan D. The slickness, he stops by every now and again, but oh boy, the things that he touched, they were wonderful. Georgie C. Yasunori would love to know what's the most famous hip hop dancer you've met.
Yeah, so um, I would say it's probably I took a workshop at one point from Hawk from Quest Crew. I don't know if you or any of the audience knows Quest Crew that performed and won one of the seasons of America's Best Dance Crew way back in the day.
What?
But yeah, I mean, a lot of like these kind of like more famous dancers or ones that have earned some sort of recognition or won titles, they go on to, you know, it's kind of like people like that have written a book and do book tours, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so these famous dancers, they'll go around and, have workshops. You go and you pay them some money to learn from them. Yeah, so it would be Hawk. He's if you don't know exactly who Hawk is, but you did watch Quest Crew, but you're like, which Asian is that? He's the one who like kind of had a funny hairstyle where he had like he was half bald, but then had like a ponytail coming out the side, or like a half mohawk sometimes, and did like a lot of the kind of threading and tutting and like very kind of intricate, like making shapes with his elbows, arm position, finger position, that stuff.
You're a hip hop dancer, Evan? I had no idea.
I'm out of the game. I used to be like a street dancer of a certain extent, but yeah, I don't really, uh, yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't classify myself. I still have some moves though.
Yeah, I
If
got
we ever, if we're ever dancing at an AGL con or whatever.
I gotta see this. I gotta see it. I do. Our next question comes from Nick A. Neestar. It's a strange one. If you had to swap lives with someone in the AGL for 1 week, who would you choose?
Yeah, so I actually ran this by him.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it would be Jack H.
Aw.
Um, because A, I've actually met him in person.
Yep.
B, I know that we work uh, in adjacent-ish fields, such that he could definitely do my job, and with some help, I could maybe do his job, or at the very least, like you know, waste time in effect in like good enough seeming ways, answer things just correct enough. Um, and both of us don't have like specific family obligations or like weird significant other stuff at the current moment that would make things quite strange. Uh, so just the minimum hassle for both myself and the other person, I went with Jack. I know him. Both of us are on Discord, at the very least, like on a second monitor enough at work that we could make things work overall, I think.
I love Jack's name just keeps coming up from you taking his spot on the LC to thinking that he was someone, uh, an arch rival of yours. We just can't get away from the Jack H. Rakic.
Actually, that is that actually is another thing about why I signed up for the LC is because Jack was interested in me succeeding him, and also I thought I was like, well, if Jack's leaving, I am interested in the LC, but like it would have been even better if both of us were on the LC for a time. But since he's leaving, this Hobbit and Player of the Year is the only opportunity to be on the LC at the same time as my friend Jack H. So I was like, well, I gotta get going while the going's good.
Hey, if you can't Freaky Friday with him, this is as good as it's gonna get, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Our next question is from Preston B. Vorbis. Evan is well known to be a connoisseur of the finest form of humor, the pun. Do his puns pop naturally and fully formed into his head, or does he craft them carefully and lovingly before releasing them into the world? And then do you have a particular favorite from over the years, or are they fleeting things birthed from a moment of glory and then lost to the wind?
I wouldn't say that any of them are things that have been, works of craft that have been like a long time coming. But I will say that, I maybe have spent 5 minutes in a conversation, maybe in a group conversation, like people are talking about stuff, and I'll be like, aha, I just made a pun based on something that was said 5 minutes ago. So there have been times where it's not exactly natural. Maybe it takes a little bit of work, but definitely nothing longer than the span of a conversation. And particular favorite, probably not. They're definitely very fleeting things, and they definitely are very trivial things that are easy to forget. They're there just to, make people have a laugh or maybe a groan, and then they're gone.
Well, I'll tell you what, Evan, you get both out of me. You can't have some that aren't groaners, but you get a lot of big laughs. You're quick-witted, and you get those puns out. Sometimes I'll go, "Oh, I got it," and then I'll be like, "No, no, Evan said that 10 minutes ago." It's like, "Oh, Jesus," you're sharp, Evan, and you got a great sense of humor. I love seeing it. You make me laugh a lot, a lot.
Yeah, I would say, it's definitely a quantity is a quality of its own. They're not going to all be bangers, but if you put enough out there, you will be remembered for the ones that really hit.
I love it. I love it. And if you know what we're talking about, keep a sharp eye on the Discord. You'll be seeing some of Evan's puns very soon, I'm sure. Great card names or song names that you think of when you think of certain cards. Evan, he goes deep. He really does. Luke M. Gravecrawler would love to know, what are your top hobbies besides magic and hip hop?
So as I said before, I'm kind of out of the practice of hip hop, uh, or like street dance, and yeah. So another one that used to be something that was really big, but I just haven't really had found like the right play group, has been board games.
Hmm.
So, definitely a lot of it's kind of translated into doing Magic, into doing some video games with friends or whatever,
Yep.
online. So, yeah, board games used to be a big thing, Terraforming Mars, Spirit Island, yada yada. But not as much these days. But I do enjoy, I in the side server. Hey, anybody listening, if you're into board games and you are in need of players and want to play with them, and you don't know about the side server, go to the side server. They're doing a lot of board games there, doing a lot of cool board games, and they're great players. I haven't really had the time currently, uh, and also sometimes they play more at like the middle of the day
Yeah, yeah.
for for those in the workday. But they're doing pretty awesome stuff there. So shout out to the board gamers. But what I do have time for these days is I have time for some manga and I have time for some role-playing games from time to time.
I love it. What, give us one manga and one role-playing game recommendation.
Uh, so I mean, for manga, I would say one that's currently running that's quite good is like Spy Family.
Okay, yeah.
That's a pretty easy one to get into. It's a little on the comedic side. If you're not into comedy, then you want something a little bit more serious. Maybe like Free Rin Beyond Journey's End is kind of nice, or Witch Hat Atelier. Those are really good ones for, kind of more on the, I don't know, not like a gag manga as much. And then for role playing games, I like it's more just about like the in terms of like systems. I haven't really done that many different systems recently. So we're just running 5e or 5.5e as it were. Um, yeah, so it's just with friends. So it's not like
Yeah.
a specific edition or anything like that, or a specific adventure.
Luke M. Gravecrawler has another question. You mentioned that you used to angle shoot / engage in targeted matchmaking early in the AGL. How and why has your approach to the AGL changed over time?
Uh, Basically, so I used to care a lot, and I tried to make every I tried to my goal was make every finals,
Sure.
which sounds crazy these days, but back in the day it was kind of possible because there was just far fewer players.
Yeah.
And so even then there was kind of growth in the league, and so to keep up, it's like okay, let me try to pull out every trick in the book. That's what I really valued at the time. And it became to the point, even in like the regular Magic, just like on Arena, doing your drafts, like I started caring way too much about the result, um, and not being able to handle my losses well. And there were other things going on in life, right? So, the game wasn't healthy for me, and I wasn't healthy to the game. So all that said, like I had to take a break. And when I came back, uh, there was still some element of that, or at the very least, like there was some still metagaming aspect of like, okay, I want to do stuff that's like I don't want to be disadvantaged compared to people that are playing at the very start of the league. And, I mean, John, you and I have history in that regard, right? Like I tried to avoid the Faramirs and the Samwises, and I wasn't looking out for you and your best interest. I was just like, I don't want to face these decks, so I was like, let's play non-Faramir. But of course, I have the third best one. I have Pippin.
Yeah, Evan sharked me for people that don't know, because I don't like talking about it and getting into it. But Evan brought it up, so we'll talk about it. Evan sharked me. He sharked me back in what league was that? I don't even know. Was Lord of the Rings? Yeah. This was back before, because like I said, Evan's been in leagues longer than me, but he also skipped a bunch of leagues, so I didn't have a ton of experience with Evan till later on.
Yeah.
And he sharked me. He sent me the personal message. Hey man, you want to play a game this week? Seems like a cool thing to do. I was like, yeah. And he beat the crap out of me, this guy. And oh gosh, I was so mad, Evan. I was so mad.
Yeah, I really thought that I don't know. I really thought that Pippin was good, but I just thought like Faramir and Samwise were like the real big deals, basically. And I was just like, I just don't want to face those decks, and anything else is fine. Yeah. So, I haven't done though like that sort of carrying and like trying to avoid those sorts of matchups and even now that I've been kind of looking a little bit at the competitive scene of like, okay, maybe I want to try to go to an RC. Maybe I want to try to see if I can get on it. Time has just made it so that I feel like even like looking for first match of the week is something that I'm probably less inclined to do these days. Because the long question is the long answer to this question is just like I kind of have just said to myself like, okay, well, let the chips fall where they may. You know, if you make less finals, who cares? You know, just play the best you can and, just have fun and like sometimes it'll seem like you deserved, quote unquote, to make the finals and you didn't. Sometimes you'll make it and you didn't feel like you really played that well.
Hmm.
It's just magic. So I just have kind of said like, okay, there are certain there's it does get you uh like slight edges, slight win percentage, but I have stopped caring about winning, I guess, and stopped caring about like converting finals. And I don't that's just my personal take. As I said, like my hot take is that metagaming is coming is perfectly fine, and that if that's what your goal is, go ahead and do that. And everybody else will hate you, but you'll have like the little demon Evan on your shoulder being like, go ahead, you got this. Uh, but for my own personal value, not my own personal values, for my own personal uh, objectives or desires currently, it just doesn't like it doesn't have as much sway in terms of like how I want to think about the league and how I'm approaching the league. That's basically it.
I definitely used to angle shoot a lot more myself too. I think just over time, once you've made so many finals or it's less important than those first few where you're like, man, I've never made it, or I've never penned it and I'm so close, or I've never made a mega draft and I'm so close. Like, I don't know. It seems so important at the time, but then after you've done it, 8-time top eighter, no, and I'm sure I haven't. You're way past eight, right? What are you at now?
Not much more. I think maybe like 13.
13. Third, not much more. 13. A whole year of leagues for me to catch up to that. Jesus. Um, but it does like I care less now. Like it's of course making top eight is awesome and I love it. But I care a lot less now that it's a thing that I've done a few times. Um,
Yeah, and I guess like the other thinking right now is like, well, you know, okay, so you make less finals and you don't convert as much as Jordan. Well, now it's like, okay, well, maybe my time and resources should be just spent on becoming as good as Jordan and
yeah.
not on, you know, metagaming to achieve the same uh, success or, approximate, not even achieve, but approximate the success of Jordan. So, it's just uh, different, different mindset, kind of in the retirement phase of league, right?
Yeah, we're the old dogs now, man. It's so weird, but we are. Like it's so funny to think about it and like think of all the people that have come and gone and all the new people that are here and new people show up more and more and more. And now you got Lucas M. Finley 2K1 being the big dog, can't stop him. And it's just like, man, it'll be someone else in 6 months. It'll be the next Michael W. Dude with the good or whoever else comes in.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Lucas M is not exactly a spring chicken either. At
At
this
this point,
point, he's
yeah,
been
that's
here
it.
since Duskborn. He's been here a long time.
Oh, that's the thing. And you go back to Duskborn. It's like, man, Duskborn seems like a year ago, but no, Duskborn was longer. Duskborn was a long time ago. Ah.
Yep.
Evan, your last question comes from Jacob P. the Pie Demon. Started with him, ended with him. Nice little bookend. You have been involved in AGL since the beginning of recorded history. History with the AGL, not history of the world. Um, why do you think now is the perfect time for you to join the LC?
Unfortunately, there's not really a very spicy answer. It's just because Jack has left and there's a spot that's been open. Uh, but yeah, so I guess like in the end, it all comes back to Jack as well.
You're filling a vacuum, a power vacuum. You know.
Yeah, I will say though that this has been at times of more or of less interest based on my life circumstances or like what I think I could provide to the community And one time I was quite interested, but at the time I was working for the store that shall not be named. So I was effectively, related to, like I was part of the sponsors of the league. And so there was natural concern of conflict of interest there, of being both on, the administrative side as well as the, I don't know, like financial side. So, at that time I applied, but unfortunately, because of that situation, couldn't make it in. And then some other times that there have been spots open, it just didn't feel like it was right. And yeah, it's also funny because it's very cyclical, because one of the times I could have applied was when I encouraged Jack to apply, and then he got the position. And now the reverse has happened, where Jack said, "Hey, I think you should apply." And I did, and now I'm part of the committee. So, I don't know. There's in a way, we have Freaky Friday one another, kind of like into and out of the committee.
Are you Jamie Lee Curtis or are you Lindsay Lohan?
I would say I have to be Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, Jack is younger, sexier. He's the new hot thing. I'm the old veteran. And in some cases, I have been like his mentor, right? So there we go.
I love it.
I'm Jamie Lee Curtis.
He's watch out for that breakdown coming your way, though, Jark. There is a serious problem with Lindsay Lohan at one point, and it was after Freaky Friday. So you be careful out there. Evan, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I want to thank you for being a part of the committee. I'll even thank you for sharking me all those years ago, because I think it really brought us closer together in the long run.
And learning that if anybody named Evan or Miranda ever even gives you a single message, you better be on guard.
If anybody sends you a message asking to play a game, there's something in it. There's something in it for them, listeners, and figure out what it is, because there's something going on. But you know what? I had every chance to say no to that game. I could have said no. I wanted to win that game so bad because I love winning those games. That win feels so good. Evan, again, thank you for coming on the show. And I can't wait to see what you do with the LC. I can't wait to see your name in lights for Modern and beyond. So again, thank you for everything you're doing, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Appreciate it, John. Thanks for having me, and thanks for your constant entertainment with your content.
Hey, you entertain me plenty with your puns, so keep those coming, and I'll keep laughing. Again, Evan's great. Best of the best. What can you say that hasn't been said? I'm sure he'll win another league soon. He's like a top 5 player in leagues this year. He's going to be in Player of the Year coming up. And now part of the LC. Super exciting. Can't wait to see what happens next. And thanks for coming on the show, Evan. Thanks so much. And thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of it. Oh, thank you for carrying this burden as we travel across the woods where the trees speak and the spiders bite. Oh, the night grows cold, but it's good to have you by my side. I hope you're enjoying the side events and the side server. Fantasy football's coming soon over there. That'll be big. Maybe Johnny's fantasy football side event, huh? What voice am I doing now? Yeah, anyway, I hope you get to keep a good 7, because this format seems pretty fast to me, and you need good cards. And I hope that shuffler is in your favor, because that's what you need to win. And that's what will get us all the way to the Lonely Mountain to see Smaug. Until then, I guess this is go home.
Do you want some, mate? I'll give it you. You want some? You want some, do you?